wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more?
Just the same. We ignore the ways and we ignore the fight. We need a miracle. We need a miracle. We need a miracle. We don't care. We don't care when you call our name. We don't care. We don't care. We are just the same. We ignore the ways and we ignore the fight. We need a miracle. We need a miracle. We need a miracle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Watkins Glen International as it plays host to not only our last road course stop of the regular season, but our 23rd race of the 5th season of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. Getting ready here today for 36 laps of road course action up here in the upstate New York area. And this racetrack has been a mainstay in this portion of the schedule ever since Season 1. It's definitely played its own little part into determining who could end up making their way into the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, if the last thing we need is a kind of dark horse under the radar type of racetrack to do something like that, well, maybe Watkins Glen is going to be more than we bargained for, because I'll tell you what, the storylines coming into today's race, wow, things are getting very, very tight for those 10 spots in the playoffs. It's really coming down to the nitty-gritty, and I can't even really make a prediction right now of who the latter half of the top 10 of our playoff contenders are going to be. So many different teams out there that still have a shot, whether it be with a second victory, with getting a lot of points between now and Auto Club, or even in the case of some of these that are way down there in the point standings, if they somehow, in these final few races of the season, these final 4 races of the season, if they can come away with 2 victories, just like that, they leapfrog all the other one-time winners, and they're up into a playoff position. Speaking of those point standings, we're going to flash them on the screen right now. We're going to show you what your regular season point standings look like at this point in time. The 78 team, a little chink in the armor last week, as they've lost some ground now to the 47 team out of Lake Effect Autosports. Only 12-point separation. Of course, those 15 bonus points for the regular season championship, very, very important. So that battle is still hot and heavy. As you run through here the overall point standings, I'm going to give you the overview of what the playoff points look like if we had concluded last week and ended the regular season right then and there at Martinsville. Ryan Butcher, that 78 team with Ryan Butcher, Alexander Rowe, and Diego Yepes, they're still at the top of the point standings. They also right now still sit in the number 1 seed. The 19 team out of Pigeon Racing right there behind them, including the defending champion Carson Gum. 77 team and the 95 team, while both of them are still outside the top 20 in the point standings, both are 2-time winning teams, so they are in seeds 3 and 4. Right now, the one-time winners currently positioned as follows. The 47 team is 6th, make that 5th rather. 6th is the 8 team, 93 team in 7th, the 38 team in 8th. 9th place is where we find the 0-1 team out of Adrenaline Motorsports. And last week, after the victory by Kyle Matthews at Martinsville, The 09 team out of S3 Motorsports now sit in the 10th and final playoff position, but it is super close behind them because the other teams that are in the hunt right now of taking that position away by points alone, since they already have a victory in the bag, include the 6 team out of Pigeon Racing, they're 2 points back. The 32 team, also out of Pigeon Racing, they are 11 points out of that cutoff line. The 27 team out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports, they are 14 points back. 18 points back is the 31 team out of Pigeon Racing, and only 22 points back is the 48 team out of Northeast Motorsports. It is still super, super close amongst those teams, and again, I feel the importance of stressing there are still teams up there in the point stands. If they win here today, they, much like Kyle Matthews was able to do last week, that victory puts them automatically up into a playoff position. Looking and singling out specific teams such as the 03 team out of S3 Motorsports, the 1 team out of Michael Norman Motorsports, and the 65 team out of Evans Gardner Motorsports. You could also potentially throw in the 55 team out of Gunther Motorsports and the 2 team out of Young Motorsports. Those 5 teams here today with a victory, they could be up in the playoff conversation once we leave Watkins Glen. But I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see what this road course is going to bring to the table here today. Going to be a longer race than we normally have had. Up until this point, it's usually been about 27 laps that we've run here at Watkins Glen. We're adding an extra 9 onto the length, 36 laps in total. Maybe an extra pit stop could be in there. We know that road course races a lot of times come down to pit strategy, so we'll wait and see what happens. But for now, we're going down trackside. We're going to get the pre-race ceremonies underway just before we get the command to fire the engines. Let's have the singing of today's national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pace car is going to lead the 29-car field off of pit lane, a rather staggered grid. You got about half the field on pit road, the other half lined up there just before the start, or just after the start finish line, I should say, on the front straightaway. But as they will head out behind the pace car, take a look at the starting lineup for today's event. It's Matt McIntyre, 27 Mac Tools Ford Mustang out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. So we mentioned about that team, 14 points behind the cut line. He's the pole sitter here today. He'll be alongside of Charles Belding in the number 19. They'll make up the front row with Ryan Brommer. Third place. Fourth will be William Micros, former winner of the season. Another former winner of the season in Bradley Ream. He'll be fifth alongside of Vince Salmriego. Row 4 comprised of Zach Rogers and Ali Rain. Zach Rogers, a former winner road course earlier on the season at Pukaka, so let's bear that in mind. That's going to be Chris Washer and Trent Dunham. They make up the top 10. Diego Yepes, another former winner this season. Jose Mills, they're going to make up row 6. Jose Mills, the inaugural winner of this event all the way back in season 1. Anthony McCrory, road course ringer. He's going to be sharing row 7 with RJ Bishop. Row 8 is Stephen Pollard III and JT Bryant. Of course, Pollard III driving the 09 that Matthews put in victory lane last week. Row 9 is going to be Bruna Harumi. She'll be alongside of William Brock. Top 20 will be completed by Nathan Ormond and Tristan Allen. Danny Wells makes up row 11 with the former champion Chris Dollerton. Zachary Fitzwater will be sharing row 12 with Daniel Bouchard. Row 13 is where we find Stephen Colon, our winner from the last time that the secondary drivers were on track. He'll be alongside of NNSCRA. And that's going to be Dave Campos and Sean Art sharing row 14. Jessica Shelton will be bringing up the rear of the field in the 29th position. Total of 7 corners these drivers will traverse here today since we are not running the boot. They will be heading from the outer loop or the carousel where they are currently positioned down the long straight to the left-hand turn 10 and the right-hand turn 11 before heading for the start-finish line. Defending winners of this race, only one of them is in the field here today, and he was mentioned in the starting grid, that being Jose Mills, who won here back in Season 1. Jesse Turner, former winner here in Season 2, Keith Batson in Season 3, and Jordan Lopez in Season 4, which means, if you're keeping score at home, the Blue Oval has been the only manufacturer to ever take a victory here at Watkins Glen in the Duracell Cup Series. Chevrolet, Toyota, and Dodge will look to end that here today, but it is a Blue Oval in Matt McIntyre who will lead us to green. A rather kind of inverted starting grid than what we're used to. Usually the pole sitter starts on the left side of a formation, but since it is a right-hand turn 1, that is the first corner we meet here when the green flag drops, the inside line is on the right side, and the outside line is on the left side. So Matt McIntyre will be starting to driver's right as the pace car makes a left-hand turn to pit road, and it's time to turn these drivers loose here today at Watkins Glen International. Final road course race of the regular season. How will it play its part into the playoffs? We're about to find out. 36 laps await these drivers here. Duracell Cup Series racing from the Glen is green. Into turn 1, 3 wide. Around the 4th, 5th position. Oh, we got a car around back there, hard into the wall. That appeared to be the Cricket Wireless Chevrolet of Sean Art. No caution, though. It does not look like any of the caution lights were blinking here. We are still green. McIntyre loses the lead. Ryan Brommer is going to go to the point. Got a bit of a push there through the S's from teammate Charles Belding. Through the inner loop, one of the toughest portions of the racetrack. 3 wide back there. They got to be careful. It's treacherous enough to go double wide. A couple of them were attempting potential 3 wide. Looks like the whole field got out of there without incident. As down the long straight heading for turn 10. We go from turn 5 to turn 10. 6, 7, 8, and 9 are the boot, if you will. Oh, into the wall goes the race leader, Ryan Brommer. That's going to lose him some momentum there, but he will lead the first lap of this race, regardless of the fact that he may have some left side damage now. Chris Washer going to dive it deep to the inside here into turn 1, and he is going to take the race lead heading up into the S's. There is the 95 of Sean Art, the 2-time winning team. Sean Art, 2-time winner, the one that has put that car in victory lane twice here in the Duracell Cup Series, but does not look like he's going to pick up career win number 3 here today. Of course, we may have the potentiality, we've had it in the past, of full course yellows, but in case we don't, we are going to show you right now what happened to Sean Art there out of turn number 1 into that inside tire barrier, courtesy of our NNSCRA split cam. Well, our front row is gone. Matt McIntyre has fallen back to around the 8th position. Belding right now battling with William Micros for what appears to be 5th, as Chris Washer, the Aaron's Dream Machine, the rookie, the Dodge, the only Dodge in the field, is going to lead the second lap. They're side by side behind him for second place. Zach Rogers, of course, as we mentioned, former road course winner this season back at Pukaka, New Zealand. He's trying to get to the inside of Chris Washer up here through the tight S's. Bradley Ream right behind him in the 74. Bradley, a winner earlier on this season at ISM. And that 74 team, I mean, that's a team that really needs a victory. It's a couple of teams that I did not mention when I gave you what your playoff grid looked like and the drivers and teams that were still in the vicinity, as the caution is out, but still in the vicinity to get up into a playoff position. And And those two teams, the 15 team out of Legend Racing and the 74 team out of Lake Effect Autosport, effectively those two teams need a second win here to get themselves back into the conversation. They're so far back in points, I don't think they've got enough time with only 4 races remaining to get up there past teams like the 0-1, the 0-9 who hold the final 2 playoff spots right now. Currently 10th and 11th in the overall point standings. Is Zach Rogers going to give it a run here to the caution? He will not get the lead from Chris Washer, so Washer will lead us under the first yellow of the day. Saw the yellow lights on when the leaders were heading through the inner loop through the bus stop, so my assumption is we had either something on the straightaway prior to that or maybe through the exit of the S's. Oh, there's a lot of skid marks right there in the S's. Yeah, okay, so undoubtedly that's where the first caution of the day took place. Let's go back and take a look at a replay of what happened. It appears it involved the 8 of Dave Campos at team 3rd in the overall point standings, the Haas Racing entry. We had a car up and over as well. That may have been SP3. We'll focus on the 09 car. Of course, the car that Kyle Matthews won in last week at Martinsville. It's the 78 of Diego Yepes there as well, the overall points leading team. And yep, contact made. Pollard into the steel guardrail. And unfortunately, that thing spins around back into traffic. I talked about how congested this particular portion of the track is. There's very little room for escape. And, oh, Tristan Allen and Jessica Shelton both going to get involved. That shot from Tristan spins the 09 up and onto his roof. And I believe that's where the car came to rest. Jessica Shelton started this race shotgun, so she didn't have good starting track position. Tried to make it through, but she's got pretty good contact to the left front of her machine. And it looks like Pollard, his day may be done, which is really big in the fact that Kyle Matthews, with his victory last week, put the 09 in the 10th and final playoff position. If it's a DNF here today for the S3 Motorsports entry, they may find themselves on the outside looking in when we head into next week's race. Here's another look at it. Diego Yepes, who made the contact there with the 09, getting away effectively unscathed. This is probably, without a doubt, one of the toughest places to avoid a wreck, and the big reason for that is because if you observe, there's steel guardrail to the left, steel guardrail to the right. It's almost like going through a tunnel. There's just no way to be able to swing out wide to avoid an incident. Your hope is that you can just slow the car down quickly enough that you don't make contact. That is more than likely 3 drivers out of the race right there. Dave Campos, Stephen Pollard III, and Tristan Allen. So that is a tough break for those particular teams as the caution's out for the first time today, and we'll get ready to go back green. The one good thing about road course yellows is usually they are fast. You usually will have pit road open, and then the leaders come down if they so choose, and by the time we get to the back straightaway, that following lap, lights are out, and we're getting ready to go back green. So we only get about a lap and a half of caution. And speaking of the leaders coming down pit road, a number of them actually did. Some drivers elected to stay out, but we did have a number of drivers on pit lane also. Trent Dunham electing to stay out. RJ Bishop, Andrea Serra, Stephen Colon, and Daniel Bouchard appear to be the ones that stayed out of the race leaders. Sean Arndt also stayed out in the 95. He lost a lap, though, with his lengthy pit stop involved in that incident on lap 1, turn 1. But he is still running. Charles Belding won the battle off of pit roads. Looks like he will restart in 7th with Chris Washer, Anthony McCurry, and Ryan Brommer, the rest of the top 10. 4 drivers back behind the wall. They're the 4 we basically saw involved in the incident. Jessica Shelton, Dave Campos, Stephen Pollard III, and Tristan Allen will not reach the conclusion of this race. So first caution of the day. Trent Dunham, right now on your scoring, is 2nd, but he will be the leader when we go back green since Chris Washer led the lap when he was on pit road. So Washer has led 3 laps so far. And Ryan Brommer has led 1 the opening lap. Trent Dunham will lead a lap when he comes around this next time by. You saw the lights out there atop the pace car. Usually the lights go out on the stretch just after the S's and heading towards the infield chicane, the inner loop, the bus stop, whatever you want to call it. So we're looking at about 4.5 laps maybe, that your top 5 are going to be off sequence fuel-wise than the rest of the field, as everybody else was down pit lane. Majority took on 4 tires. Everybody packed it full of fuel. And this is one of the cool things about road course racing, is the strategy that comes into play even in the early stages of the race. So we will have 25 drivers who will take the green flag for this upcoming restart. 24 of them on the lead lap. Sean Artin at 95 is not going to be on an inside line here since it is a road course. There are no double file restarts for the lap machines. So he may be a bit of a hindrance here for drivers 6th place on back. We'll have to wait and see how quickly can Belding, Washer, McCrory and company, can they get around him? Trent Dunham. We talked about Michael Norman Motorsports. That entry. Right now 7th in the overall point standings. They are the 2nd highest team in points without a victory. If they win today, they may be heading to the postseason. Trent's trying to do that as he's going to be leading us back to green here at the Glen. Battle will be for 2nd. Bunch of Fords. NNSCRA, RJ Bishop, Stephen Colon, and Daniel Bouchard, as Belding, Washer, McCurry got around Sean Arndt, but he's holding up. It appeared to be the 31 of Ryan Brommer. That could make things very interesting here through the congested S's, and I believe he just got spun, did the 95. Caution is out. Just got spun in the S's, and we may have another big one. Well, maybe it wasn't him that got spun. I think I see him back there still going, so I don't know who it was that spun out. As they slide through the inner loop there. NNSCRA trying to hold off RJ Bishop for 2nd. She will succeed in doing so for the time being. Daniel Bouchard and Stephen Colon, they're going to duke it out for 4th place. Chris Washer right now, the highest of the drivers that pit. He's now up to the 6th position ahead of Charles Belding and Anthony McCrory. NNSCRA might have thoughts about the race lead here. Back to the caution. Same for RJ Bishop. If Trent slips up, which he does, gets into the wall, going to be a drag race here to the start-finish line between these two. Who's going to get it? They lean on each other. I think it was NNSCRA. I think it was. And scoring says I'm correct. Wow, a photo finish coming back to the caution. Can't wait for scoring and timing to tell us just how close that was at the line. 5/1000ths it said. They were leaning on each other 3 wide there with Sarah, Dunham, and Bishop. That was exciting to watch. And NNSCRA is going to be out in front here for the first time today. Now, who was involved in that incident there through the S's? I thought I saw the green 95 go around. He's got roof damage there. That may have been from getting into the tire barriers earlier on in this race, Sean Arndt, but maybe it was a half spin. Maybe it was a half spin and he saved it. There is some damage on the left side of Zach Rogers, though, so maybe he's the one that got into the 95? We'll drop back, look at a replay, find out exactly what happened here. I didn't see any damaged, like really damaged race cars back there, though, so it may have been only a couple of cars involved at most. Here it was. Watch the green car up ahead, taken 3 wide by Jose Mills and Ryan Brommer. Zach Rogers gets stacked up behind, and oh, he may have gotten a little help from Matt McIntyre, actually. So it was not the 95 that spun out. It was Zach Rogers in the 6 off the nose of our pole sitter, Matt McIntyre. He gets turned around into the steel guardrail, and incredibly enough, everybody gets through. Boy, I was wondering there for a moment with Bruno Harumi, but everybody got through. It's obviously not a safer barrier, so that's some pretty good damage on the left side of the Red Bull Chevrolet. A tremendous loss of track position for Zach Rogers as well. who was 11th when he crossed the start finish line last time by. So that is going to be a hard road to toe, if you will, for him to try and make his way back up to the front. As pit road is open, and no surprise, at least one of the drivers that stayed out under that last caution is coming down. NNSCRA, looks like Stephen Colon, the 47, may also have ducked onto pit road, but Trent Dunham still stays out, as will Bishop and Daniel Bouchard. So I don't know what the strategy is that these guys are thinking, but in the case of the 1 and the 2, if either one of them, Dunham or Bishop, find victory lane, they could be positioning themselves for a spot in the playoffs. NNSCRA, I believe, led that lap. Yes, she indeed did. And we should be getting the 1 to green this time by, unless we have the extra lap of caution with the 95 being a lap down. We'll have to see if having lap machines, if that plays a factor into how many laps we run under pacing or not. Well, after today, folks, there's only 3 more races left on the schedule for the regular season until we know what our playoff field looks like next week. We don't go too far. Head a little bit southeast to the Pocono Mountains, the tricky triangle, Pocono Raceway. 3 corners, 3 entirely different corners at that racetrack. Another track as well that very much so plays into the fuel strategy, the pit strategy type game. We'll be there next week. Following week, we are heading to Bristol Motor Speedway for the 2nd time this season, but last time we were at the asphalt-covered short track. This time we'll be going to the dirt-covered version, Bristol Dirt. Going to be the penultimate race of the regular season, and then we cap things off at the, well, some call it a speedway, some call it a really big speedway, and some call it a super speedway. But it's Auto Club Speedway, our regular season finale, to determine who will be in the playoffs and who will be just trying to finish out the season as high as they can of the remainder of the field in points. We already know teams that have already locked their way in. The 78 team, the 19 team, the 95 team, the 77 team. And there are teams as well, with the few races we have left, that even after today could lock themselves in. With 3 races left, we could lock in the 47 team, the 8 team, 93 team maybe could get locked in as well. So every race that ticks away is one less opportunity for a team right now in a playoff position to lose said spot. So I think after today, if we don't end up having another 2-time winner, I think we could safely assume that the 47 team out of Lake Effect Autosport, that they are going to be locked into the playoffs, regardless of if they get another win here in the regular season or not. I would have said the same thing about the 8 team, but Dave Campos is out of the race. 28th position is where he'll finish here today, so it's not 100% confirmed for the team that went to victory lane with Matt Haas back in the Daytona 500. Looks like lap machines are not going to play a factor into how many laps we have under pacing. Going back green here on lap 9 of 36, so we'll be a quarter of the way through today's race. Trent Dunham's going to bring us back down to the green once again. He has led 2 laps, about to lead his 3rd. That would tie him with Chris Washer for most laps led today. Of course, that valuable bonus point up for grabs, and RJ Bishop's going to waste no time. He's going to look to driver's right, heading into turn 1, and looks like he will take the lead from Trent Dunham heading up to the S's. Things got rather staggered in the midway portion of the pack, and really split up towards the rear of the field, as looks like we're going to make it through the S's here safely. Double wide, though, for the 4th position. Anthony McCurry, the Panda Express Chevrolet. Daniel Bouchard, the Motorcraft Ford. Jose Mills swapping from the left to the right side of that straightaway. He'll get alongside of Charles Belding. They make some contact there, exiting out of the bus stop. JT Bryant was right in the mix of that as well. as RJ Bishop pulls away in the Mountain Dew Baja Blast Ford Mustang out of Young Motorsports. Chris Washer going to try and swing around the outside of Trent Dunham for second. Looks like he will succeed in doing so, leaving Dunham to battle with Bouchard for third place. So we know that Bishop hard into the wall! Right in front of Chris Washer, right in front of the entire field. The caution's going to fly for that. He got the wall, he tried to keep it against it. Oh, now they're wrecking him up here even further! JT Bryant just got into Jose Mills and collected up Zachary Fitzwater past the start-finish line. Calamity here on the completion of lap 9 onto lap 10. JT Bryant's got damage now. Jose Mills. There's the 44 of Chris Washer. He's the one that got into the 2 of RJ Bishop. We've seen drivers here today and during the course of the races we've run here at Watkins Glen in the past. We've seen drivers get up there into that wall off of turn 11 if they overdrive it just a little too much and scrape it, but usually we don't see the car kind of get, stuck into that wall, sucked into the wall. That was what happened there with RJ Bishop, and that could have been a lot worse. That car was flat sideways in front of oncoming traffic, and that's almost a bit of a blind corner, a blind right-hander there heading back to the start-finish line of the front straightaway. Oh, man, that's a tough break there for RJ Bishop, who was playing the strategy of trying to stay out, have good track position. He's got damage now. Not only to the right side, getting into the wall, or make that the left side, I should say, but also to the rear end with Chris Washer getting into the back of him. Let's take a look at it here, heading into the final corner. Bishop was the leader and Washer was in second. And I was going to be interested if we had gone green to see how long Bishop, Dunham, and Bouchard could have gone with them having stayed out here under the last 2 cautions. There you see Bishop, he's trying to get that car turned back around to the right to straighten it out, but Washer just came up on him too quickly, spins him around right in front of the field, and fortunately everybody's going to avoid him. Now what happens here with the 98 and the 77? That's what I'm curious about. They already, I believe, take the caution. Yeah, they do. Now where's the contact take place here? Oh, Jose Mills was trying to move to the left of Trent Dunham. JT Bryant was really already there. They were all trying to start woeing up down the downhill to turn 1 for pacing. I don't think JT Bryant really did anything wrong, and I don't think Jose Mills realized the 77 had that much momentum, but he moved in front of the 77 of JT Bryant. He gets hooked into the steel guardrail, and I don't know if Zachary Fitzwater, if he got any damage or not, or if he was able to slow up in time, but that's some pretty extensive damage on the 77 and the 38 car. Now let's see if we can get an onboard here with Chris Washer coming off the final corner. Pretty good damage on the front end of his machine. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him down pit road and try and do some repair on that machine. Don't know how much it's going to affect him overall, but on some of these straightaways, I would think it would hurt him aerodynamically. Here's the onboard with the Aaron's Dream machine out of 4 Racing Enterprises. Yeah, you saw RJ Bishop was on the brakes, would have helped him to be able to gather up the race car and hopefully get it pointed back in the right direction, but traffic behind him was just too close, and there was no opportunity for him to be able to get that thing pointed back in the right direction. Pit road open, number of drivers on pit lane. Looks like Ali Raines on pit road, Danny Bouchard, RJ Bishop, Trent Dunham. That would, I believe, be a regularly scheduled stop for Trent. See Danny Wells on pit road. Chris Washer's on pit lane. Looks like they are going to repair that car and try and get him back out there. Nobody out of the race after that one. Did have one car penalized potentially for speeding on pit road. Now is Bruna Harumi in the 21, so she will drop to the back for this upcoming restart. And Bradley Ream is going to be the leader when we go back under the green flag. Bouchard was the leader when that caution came out, so I believe he got a lap led. He's got 2 laps led here today. Bradley Ream, of course, one of 2 drivers out of Lake Defect Autosport that have gone to victory lane this season, Stephen Colon being the other. So your two winners for that team have come out of the secondary driver group. Bradley Ream, of course, back at ISM in what was a 1-2 finish with himself and Stephen Colon. Colon would have to wait about another 7-8 weeks before he finally found victory lane for the first time in his Duracell Cup Series career. So obviously you guys are not seeing the running order on the top left of your screen, so visually I'll try and give you what the rundown is here. Bradley Ream will be the leader when we go back green. Anthony McCurry in second. Zachary Fitzwater in third. Chris Dollerton and Ryan Brommer complete the top 5. Charles Belding in 6th. Matt McIntyre 7th. Looks like Vince Almariego 8th. William Micros in 9th. And Ali Rain is going to complete the top 10. I said Ali Rain was on pit road. I believe that I mistaken that car, similar colors, to the one of Trent Dunham. So Ali Rain did not pit under this caution. Trent Dunham did. And with the 39, 1, and 2 all on pit road under this caution, now every driver has made at least one pit stop since the beginning of this race. If you're just joining us, we are working our third caution of the day. Race leader is Bradley Ream. There will be 25 drivers taking the green flag for this restart, 24 of them on the lead lap. Sean Arndt is the lap down machine. He was involved in an incident on lap 1 that did not bring out the yellow, made an unscheduled pit stop, lost the lap as a result. 4 drivers are back in the garage area that were involved in a big wreck through the S's that brought out the first caution of the day. Tristan Allen, Stephen Pollard III, Dave Campos, and Jessica Shelton are the drivers out of the race as a result. Second caution involved Zach Rogers spinning through the S's. He is going to restart back in the 21st position. RJ Bishop and Chris Washer, who were involved in our latest caution here out of turn 11. After running in first and second, Bishop going to restart in 24th. Chris Washer looks like he is slated to roll off from the 21st position. Green flag back in the air here. Lap 12 goes on the board. Pole sitter Matt McIntyre, the first one to step out of line back there around the 5th, 6th position. McCrory and Fitzy. A couple of drivers very well known for their road course prowess. Second and third place. May make it a battle for the runner-up spot heading down here through the bus stop. Behind them, Chris Dollerton, the former champ from Season 1. Ryan Brommer, his teammate, right behind him. As a matter of fact, you got Pigeon Racing lined up in 4th, 5th, and 6th. So as I say that, though, Charles Belding under fire from Matt McIntyre. And McIntyre will take the spot. So everybody has been to pit road now, but a lot of them are on different sequences from each other as Bradley Ream gets into the wall there in front of the field. Fortunately, he got it straightened out. Another penalty there for the 21 of Bruna Harumi, and she's coming down to serve it now. You don't normally lose a lap here at Watkins Glen unless it's an extended stay, so she's going to be hoping for a caution, as she should be able to leave pit road still on the lead lap. Fitzwater goes to the lead. Corey will move into second. Dollerton into third. All these drivers taking advantage of Bradley Ream getting into the wall there off of turn 11. Fortunately, though, unlike RJ Bishop, he was able to get the thing pointed back straight, and everybody had a venue to be able to avoid him. But look at McCrory swing that thing wide there through the exit of the bus stop. All that runoff area there now. Back when we ran Duracell Cup Series races here in Season 1, Season 2, there was actually grass there, and a lot of drivers would feel an elevation change. Their car would kind of hop into the air, and it would cause a lot of incidents there through that particular portion of the racetrack. Now with that runoff, we don't have nearly as much issue through the bus stop as we normally did. Looks like Bradley Ream may be coming to pit road to get some damage repaired after getting to the wall that last lap. So tough break there for the 74. Fitzwater got the wall that time from the lead off of turn 11, and that will turn the race lead over to Anthony McCrory out of Gunther Motorsports. 55 team is 13th in the overall point standings. They are just behind teams like the 09 and the 6. Both those teams have run into issues here today with Zach Rogers back there with damage. Currently in 16th place, and Pollard out of the event. So a win here today could maybe put the 55 team in the playoff conversation, but the pole sitter, Matt McIntyre, started up front, kind of faded back to the latter half of the top 10, lost track position when he came down pit road. He has fought his way all the way back up to the top position, and he will lead them out of the carousel and heading down towards turn 10. So strong car right there out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. I don't believe Matt McIntyre has a road course victory here in the Duracell Cup Series, so if he can close out the deal here today at the Glen, it would be his first. Caution's out. They just took it. So Matt McIntyre, Anthony McCurry, Chris Dollerton, they had a pretty good drag race there for second place, but McCurry won out over the Season 1 champ. And then Fitzwater and Ryan Brommer, that's the top 5. Who was involved in this yellow? May have been RJ Bishop in the 2. Potentially the 38 of Jose Mills. They were both on the lead lap. That caution saves Bruna Harumi, who had to serve the penalty there coming to the restart. She'll remain on the lead lap. Bradley Ream with the unscheduled stop. He's going to remain on the lead lap as well. So this caution a godsend for a couple of drivers. And let's see if we can find out what happened to RJ Bishop. This may have been through the bus stop, actually. Because I noticed Jose Mills was quite a ways back when they were exiting out of the carousel. Oh, wow. It was. But it was not any on-track incident between drivers. The engine went south on the Young Motorsports Ford right there, coming through the S's. That's about halfway on the racetrack, so as that car decreases speed, there was just no way he was going to be able to nurse that thing all the way back to pit road. It's already down to about 55 miles per hour at this point in time, and it's going to try and bring the thing to a stop over here out of the way in the inner loop. But race officials feeling that they had to get out there, they had to get that car off the racetrack, so the caution flies. So a tough break there for RJ Bishop. Had a good car here today, was trying to play strategy early on, and not going to work to his favor. So now's the big question. If you're these guys up here at the front, do you come down pit road now? We don't know what the fuel window is exactly for these drivers. We've had 4 cautions now that have taken the possibility of long green flag runs and getting an idea of just how far they can go on fuel completely out of the equation. So when they come around to hit the line this next time by, it'll be 21 laps remaining. I doubt they can make it 21 laps on a tank of fuel, but just in case, that way they can take on less fuel when potentially the final pit stop of the day comes up. Do they come down pit road here? I think we're about to get our answer. A lot of them staying there to the right side, indicating they're coming down. Right there, that yellow line is their access lane, showing they're coming down pit road. And Matt McIntyre is going to lead a bunch of them down pit lane. It looks like a few going to play some strategy. I saw Ryan Brommer, Nathan Norman. They stayed out. So it looks like maybe the 31 will be leading us back to green next time by. Fitzwater in there in the 12. So you had your entire top 4 come down pit road. Brommer, I believe, was in 5th. He was the first to stay out. I see Stephen Colon stayed out back there. Ali Rain appeared to have stayed out. Diego Yepes, I think, also stayed out there. So we got some gambling. Gas and go for the 32 of Dollerton. Same for Trent Dunham. Trent's going to gain a lot of spots here on pit road. He actually leads everybody off pit lane. Then it was Dollerton, McCurry, McIntyre, and Belding. So even on pit road, nobody really doing the same strategy as anybody else. Gotten the confirmation, an engine piston, the reason that RJ Bishop did not reach the conclusion of this race. I don't know if it had anything to do with the contact he had there into the wall off of turn 11, or if it was something completely separate. Make contact here at a track like Watkins Glen. We talk about, the tire barriers, the steel girders. There's only a couple of places where there's a safer barrier. Turn 11 is one of those particular areas. But even just, contact like that into the wall can jar something loose, and that may have been why we ended up seeing the engine failure on the 2 car. 2 team came into this race 16th in the overall point standings. They were 15 points behind the cut line team, the 09 team, coming into this race. So if they had taken a checkered flag, they more than likely could have moved up into a playoff position. They will have to try again next week at Pocono. Adam Garcia will be taking over the driving duties next week, the 3-time winner from last year. But even in the case of, talking about them in potential playoff position if they win, even more so we got to talk about the potentiality that they're out of playoff position when they suffer bad finishes in DNFs. A lot of those teams, we've seen teams try and make their way up there into the top 10 the overall point standings, and they make strides one week, DNF the following week. They just kind of stay in limbo. You're going to get yourself in a position where a win puts you in a playoff spot, you've got to keep the consistency up. So it puts the pressure on these teams. It's really an interesting concept because everybody thinks that the goal is to go out there and win. And yeah, that is the goal, obviously. Everybody wants to take that checkered flag, but it's even as much emphasis on consistent finishes as it is on going to victory lane. And when you swap over a driver every 3 weeks, 3 different drivers in 3 different weeks. It's very difficult, I think, for teams to be able to get a sense of continuity and an idea of exactly what their driver needs each and every time. So I think there's more pressure on the crews each and every week than there is particularly on the drivers. They just got to go out there and drive the race car. Well, Ryan Brommer is going to bring them down here to the green. That 31 team is currently 18 points behind the cut line for a playoff position. They have a victory this year with James Shelley back at Riverside, another road course, as Brommer will get us back under green over Ormond, Cologne, Yepes, and Rain. Stephen Cologne not wasting any time. Picked up his first career win back at Nashville Super Speedway. And he's looking for back-to-back victories here. Mentioned the fact that Jesse Turner was a former winner here at Watkins Glen. He drove the 47 car. What advice did he have for his young rookie driver today, do you think? Whatever it was appears to be working. Cologne will go to the lead out of the bus stop. Brommer will slot back to second. Nathan Ormond right now in the 3rd spot is Andrea Serra putting the pressure on Diego Yepes. That'd be for 4th. Ormond shoots to driver's left for 2nd place, heading into turn 10. And he will clear maybe here out of turn 11. Cologne getting the wall there. And opens up the door for Ormond to try and take the lead. I thought he might lead the lap, but not quite. Cologne did lead that lap. Ormond will have the preferred lane, drives it deep, lets it swing wide through that right-hander. And he will officially take the spot going into the S's. I don't know what it is about drivers that go to the race lead getting into that wall, particularly off of turn 11. It seems like 2nd place on back when they're double filed. They don't. I don't know if it's a sense of the clean air to the nose, allowing a driver to take the corner a little faster. I'm not sure what it is, but it makes me kind of interested. Why it's the lead car that swings it out wide, usually there off of turn 11. Why doesn't everybody else follow suit? Danny Wells there in the 15. He's been quiet today, playing strategy, and now he's up in the 6th position. Trying to drive to the inside of Ryan Brommer there. Very shallow entry into turn 10. Not going to work out. Brommer's coming to pit road in the 31. And this may be unscheduled, maybe scheduled. We had another car in the wall back there. That was, I believe, JT Bryant. There's another driver on pit road also. We'll follow up on who it is that's pitting this lap as Diego Yepes, our winner from Charlotte. He's going to now move by for the race lead. Top 6 breakaway. William Micros, our winner from Manassas, he's on pit road. And there you see the aforementioned Brommer on pit road. Looks like regularly scheduled stops for these two guys. I know Brommer stayed out. William Micros, we're being told, is coming down to serve a penalty. May have passed before the start-finish line there on the last restart. That's a costly mistake there for him. 93 team in good situation right now. They are 4th in the overall point standings with the victory that Micros got them back in the early portion of the season. Second race of the season, as a matter of fact. But on the flip side, it's going to cost them some valuable points as they're trying to keep themselves in the hunt for the regular season championship. Oh, into the wall, Matt McIntyre back there, the 27, our pole sitter. Everybody going to avoid him, though, as your top 6 throw a blanket over them. Orman going to go back to the lead. How about Diego Yepes there in that 78 car, though? Trying to keep that team up there at the top of the leaderboard in the overall standings. Caution is out. Going to be the 5th time today the yellow flag will wave at Watkins Glen, and it's going to be nearing 15 to go. So who leads us back to the caution is the question. Is it going to be Orman's Ford? Is it going to be Yepes' Toyota? Andrea Serra, Stephen Colon, Bradley Ream all there as well, along with the Chevrolet of Danny Wells. As a matter of fact, you've got the 78 and the 47 both up here, and those two teams separated by 12 points, first and second in standings. So the battle for that overall points lead still continues here on the racetrack at Watkins Glen as Colon trying to pick up a spot there on Andrea Serra for 3rd place. And through the final couple of corners, teammate Bradley Ream right behind him as off turn 11. Oh, Trent Dunham in the wall hard back there, and Orman is going to lead under caution by about half a car length over the Monster Energy Toyota Camry of Diego Yepes. This caution going to save Ryan Brommer with that pit stop, as well as William Micros, who had to serve the pass-through penalty. And both remained on the lead lap. There they are. So who brought the caution out? I'm wondering if it might have been this car, the pole sitter, Matt McIntyre. We saw him in the wall there off of turn 11. And I'm wondering if maybe he had further contact with somebody else. Maybe that 32 of Chris Dollerton. Pit road will be open and might see everybody on pit road this time. They may all be able to make it on fuel from this point. It was Matt McIntyre who went around. This was prior to when we saw him get into the wall off of turn 11. Oh, little bit of bumper grab there. Not quite clear on Fitzwater. I don't know if Fitzwater turned left or if McIntyre swung wide across his nose. Whatever the end result is, though, you see the 27 got the worst of it. Damage there to the right side of his machine, and then a few corners later coming out of turn 11, the same lap is when he got into the wall off of turn 11, so he has both left and right side damage on his Ford Mustang. So pit road's open. Who makes the dive? Honestly, I would be surprised if anybody stays out. Maybe the 31 of Ryan Brommer might stay out, but I think that he even would be short of making it the rest of the way. I think he would have to come to pit road here too. It's either a case of putting yourself on the same sequence as everybody else and starting at the rear where you're currently at, or stay out, hope for a caution, and everybody stay out and you come to pit road and start at the rear. So either way, it's not a good situation for the 31 car. Looks like the 21 of Bruno Harumi is going to stay out, though. But everybody else is coming down pit road. Even drivers that pitted under the last caution are coming down pit lane. So this says to me this could possibly be the final pit stop of the day for these drivers, especially if we end up having a couple more cautions where drivers can save fuel and stretch it a little bit further. It's going to be at least left side tires for the Burger King Ford Mustang, and now they're going to go around to the right side. Talked about how at Watkins Glen everything's kind of topsy-turvy, all in reverse. The way that they grid up, completely different from how they would grid up at a normal speedway. Now, same with the pit stops. The crew goes around and services the left side of the race car first, and then comes around to the right side. It's the complete opposite when they're at the other racetracks. Danny Wells won the battle off of pit road, so he'll restart second behind Harumi. Fitzwater will be third, Belding fourth, Yepes in fifth. And it looks like NNSCRA, Nathan Ormond, Vince Almriego, then Anthony McCurry and Zach Rogers going to restart in the 10th position. So that damage we saw Zach Rogers get when he was spun around the S's appears it has not affected him too badly. And he will be restarting up here in a pretty good position. Nobody out of the race after what brought out this caution. That's been there by Matt McIntyre. They have repaired the 27. And last time by, at least, he was scored in 19th place. So we'll have to wait for scoring to update here next time by past the start-finish line to find out if that is indeed the case. That's one of the tough things about road course racing here at Watkins Glen is pit road speed and pacing speed are very similar. And so if a driver is the leader when they come down pit road, if they've got a good starting position, they've got a pit stall after the start-finish line, and they will more than likely lead that lap while on pit road. So our scoring monitor is based off of how they crossed the start-finish line, not how they left pit lane. And so I don't know, kind of wish that maybe Watkins Glen had it where the start-finish line was near the exit of pit road. It would make things a lot easier to figure out who is running where for the upcoming restart. Plus the fact, too, we usually have a couple of laps at speedways and whatnot of pacing, so it gives an extra lap or two for scoring to update itself after pit stop cycles are done. With us having the, and I'm not complaining about it, having the quick pace laps here at Watkins Glen, we basically find out who is where inside of the top 10 when they take the green flag for the restart. We have to kind of decipher visually who is running where on that pace lap. But we do know for certain that Bruno Harumi is the race leader. The 21 team out of No Limits Racing, 19th in the overall points coming into this one, and they were 36 points behind the cut line coming into this race. They're still looking for their first victory of the season also. They've had some good runs last few weeks with Alison Rodrigo and Pedro Lucas. Bruno Harumi trying to keep that consistency up here today. And trying to as well to make it 5 for 5 in Ford picking up the win here at Watkins Glen. She's going to lead Danny Wells, Zachary Fitzwater, Charles Belding, and Diego Yepes back to the start-finish line. 14 to go here at Watkins Glen. More than likely, these drivers should be able to make it on fuel. Big question mark there, though, on that 21 car, the only driver that stayed out under this yellow flag. Danny Wells did not traverse 1 and 2 the way that he wanted. He's going to drop a few spots back to the 5th position. Belding's going to take a look here on Fitzwater for second, heading through the bus stop. Boy, made that look easy. Quickly puts the 12 car in his rearview mirror. Danny Wells battling back here. Holding off the charge from Diego Yepes for the 5th spot. Nathan Ormond and Vince Almriego, they've been side by side for 7th ever since exiting the S's. Looks like Ormond may win out. Nope. Almriego back again on the inside here through turn 11. And give the spot to Almriego. Belding to the lead. Around Fitzwater. After Bruno Harumi had a moment there out of turn 11. Fitzwater not going to give up. Andrea Serra right there as well in the 99. Belding clear for the top spot. Second place is where the battle will be. 12 on the right, 99 on the left. And Andrea Serra, using the preferred line through the bus stop, will move to the runner-up position. So now the army of one will try and get P1 from Charles Belding, as Harumi on those older tires starting to lose some momentum, lose some speed, and lose some positions as a result. Diego Yepes now going to pounce for fourth. Car in the wall, Belding got into Andrea Serra, but they all managed to save it. So no caution will wave. We stay green. Belding's going to drop all the way back to a 3-wide battle for fourth. This is kind of scary out of turn 1. Andrea Serra, I think, got away relatively unscathed, although she was into the back of Belding for a while. But she didn't lose much ground to the top two. Fitzwater now to the lead. Yepes into second. And Serra right there in third. Then they've got about 6 car lengths back to Belding in that fourth position. But I got to wonder just how much damage that left side contact is going to leave, and how's that's going to affect his speed. Will we see him have to dive to pit road or not? Some pretty good damage on the back end of the car there too. You see it, yeah. That spoiler is kind of bent up, going uphill from left to right, so that might affect how that car handles, especially on these straightaways. Might work to his benefit, might kind of be a parachute. Let's watch back here. This is a fun battle. It's Almriego, Danny Wells. Someone got the wall there off of 11. Might have been Fitzwater in the 12. Anthony McCurry right there behind Vince Almriego. Stephen Colon, the 47 there also. Another driver having a good run, a quiet run. How about William Brock just cracked the top 10 up to the 9th position. 48 team with a victory this season courtesy of Austin LaPlante. They could use a second win to clinch themselves a playoff position. Right now they are the lowest team that could point their way into the playoffs that already have a win. 22 points behind the cut line coming into this race. That obviously subject to change with the DNF from Stephen Pollard III earlier on today. Doesn't look like that damage on the left side of Belding has affected him at all. He's still up to speed and he's trying to move back to the front. Side by side with Zachary Fitzwater, who's got some rear end damage now on his 12 car. That, I believe, was from getting into the wall on the last lap. I think he may have gotten hit from behind by Diego Yepes, and that's how Andrea Serra was able to move to the front. Serra almost got the wall there. Didn't hit it, but certainly lost some momentum. Might have had to bail out of the throttle, and that's why Diego Yepes got a great run down the front straightaway, and he'll look to take the lead here going into turn 1. So now it's the big question. This is about the longest run we've had today under green flag conditions, and I just jinxed it because the caution is out. Well, I shouldn't have said anything. We're racing back to the yellow here. Andrea Serra, Diego Yepes, Fitzwater's right there. Danny Wells in the mix. He's going to try and make a move for third on the 12. Fitzwater throws a block on him. Serra going to take the lead out of the bus stop. Andrea Serra's been really strong there in the bus stop. She's made quite a number of passes up here inside the top 5 and a couple for the race lead in that particular portion of the racetrack. So I think drivers need to take note. If Andrea Serra is running second behind you on the last lap, defend in that particular area of the racetrack because she is strong in the inner loop. Out of turn 11, down to the start-finish line. Andrea Serra is going to lead us under the 6th caution of the day. Diego Yepes crosses in second. Fitzwater, Wells, and Belding the top 5. Now we'll get an idea of if these drivers were able to make it about 14 laps on fuel, if anybody dives onto pit road here under this caution period. I've got some candidates back here, but I think it might have been the 93 of William Micros. that might have brought out this yellow flag. Bruna Harumi on pit lane in the 21. I believe that is a regularly scheduled stop for her, as she definitely, I don't think, could have made it on fuel. Let's go back, see exactly who it was that brought out this 6th caution of the day. Sets us up for a restart with less than 10 to go, so we should have ourselves a bit of a shootout at Watkins Glen. It was not William Micros. I wonder if it was the 21 car. Nope, does not appear to be the 21 car. So who was it? Looking at my telemetry, nobody out of the race. Chris Washer in the 44 was the reason for this caution. Badly mangled machine. All by his lonesome here, going into turn 11. Boy, that car looked really loose there. Never was able to gather it back up. Gets into the outside wall. You can see him get on the brakes to come to a stop. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why did they throw the caution if he's all by his lonesome? You'll see in just a moment here the 38 of Jose Mills come into the vicinity. There he is. So since there was oncoming traffic and the 44 was very much so off the pace for safety measures, the officials throwing the full course yellow. So Chris Washer, solo spin there out of turn 11, sets us up for what should be a doozy of a finish. Now, I don't think that we are in the window where a caution after this one would end the race, especially with the fact that we have the very short pacing laps here at Watkins Glen. So if we were to get a yellow flag immediately after we go green, I think we should at least still have enough laps to be able to get them back under the green flag for at least one more restart, maybe two. It all would depend on where those caution flags fall. But much to my expectation, nobody hit pit road when it was open that time. So that said to me that the pit stop we saw them all make under the previous yellow, that is their final pit stop of the day. These cautions are just going to help them with that as well. They'll be able to throw in the clutch and save fuel. Watkins Glen has a lot of these elevation changes, especially that front straightaway there, heading down to turn 1. You can kind of shut the car off, let it just coast downhill. Maybe not as easy coming up the hill here through the S's. You let it coast on the straightaway here out of the S's and towards the bus stop. Maybe that little bit of banking there in the carousel, you can clutch it a little bit there. So there is a couple of areas of this racetrack where you can be able to save some fuel here under pacing. And I'm certain that's pretty much what every driver in the field is doing right now. With nobody coming down pit road either, it's going to be the first time today that we will be able to give you a full field rundown and be accurate of where everybody is currently positioned. So let's do that right now as we'll be getting ready for a restart with 7 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. Andrea Serra is your race leader. She's looking for the first win of her career. Diego Yepes in 2nd. Zachary Fitzwater 3rd. Danny Wells 4th. Charles Belding in 5th with Anthony McCurry 6th. Vince Almariego is 7th. 8th, Stephen Colon. Daniel Bouchard in 9th. And William Brock completes top 10. Zach Rogers has had an adventurous day. He's up in 11th. 12th, Nathan Ormond. 13th for Allie Rain. Chris Dollerton 14th. JT Bryant 15th. Trent Dunham runs 16th, 17th. Ryan Brommer. 18th, Bradley Ream. 19th, Matt McIntyre and Jose Mills will complete the top 20. Chris Washer, who brought out the latest caution, he's the last car on the lead lap. He is in the 21st position. William Micros is the first car 1 lap down. He's 22nd place. A lap down in 23rd is Sean Arndt. Bruna Harumi has returned back to the racetrack, but she is 2 laps down to the leaders. She's in 24th. And then 5 drivers out of the race. Had an engine failure for RJ Bishop about 13 laps ago, so he will finish in 25th. And then 4 drivers out of the race after a big wreck under the second caution of the day in the S's. Tristan Allen will finish in 26th, 27th, Stephen Pollard III, Dave Campos in 28th, and Jessica Shelton in 29th. And that is your full field rundown here with 7 laps to go when they hit the line this next time by. for 3 of your top 5, and for 5 of your top 10, got drivers looking for their first career win here in the Duracell Cup Series. NNSCRA the leader, Fitzwater in 3rd, Danny Wells in 4th, Anthony McCurry in 6th, Daniel Bouchard in 9th. Will one of them go to victory lane, or will we see a wily veteran be able to pick up a checkered flag here at Watkins Glen? Green flag back in the air here. NNSCRA going to lead them down to turn 1, and the battle will be for second place behind her, Fitzwater, Yepes, and Danny Wells. The last time the 99 went to victory lane, for those that like the statistics, was Levi McIntyre, Season 3, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. 99 has only been to victory lane twice in the history of the Duracell Cup Series, both with Levi McIntyre. The other time was his first career win back in Season 2 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Fitzwater has moved into the runner-up spot. Yepes under fire from Danny Wells. Oh, a spinner! Stephen Colon around, and he gets a big hit from Zach Rogers. Caution will undoubtedly fly. Another shot there from Jose Mills a little bit further back. Caution will come out, no doubt. But we should get another restart, it looks like here. We got enough laps. NNSCRA gets the wall there off of turn 11, but she will lead them back to the caution. And Stephen Colon, our winner the last time these secondary drivers were on track back at Nashville, he's the reason for this one. Took a couple big shots, one from Zach Rogers and one from the only driver in this field that had a previous victory at Watkins Glen back in Season 1, that being the 38 of Jose Mills. There is Colon. His day is done. 47 team, second in the overall point standings. They were looking for a good day. There is Jose Mills, the 38 team, also up there in points, 8th in the standings. And where's the 6 of Zach Rogers? Yeah, he's got pretty crunched up front end on that Red Bull Chevrolet. Was doing a great job making a comeback from his spin earlier, but he's collected up in this one. Let's go back and see what happened. This was just coming out of the carousel. Down that straight from the carousel to turn 10. 47. We'll see if we can get a good enough camera angle here, hopefully. Oh, looks like Colon might have been in this Invectum. Yeah, Daniel Bouchard gets Vince Almriego in the right rear quarter panel, turns him down into Colon. And everybody's just trying to scatter here. Big hit for Zach Rogers. Sent the 47 up into the air a little bit. And then you see the bright yellow 38 of Jose Mills. He's kind of boxed in with traffic to his right. He's trying to stay as far as he can away. And Bruno Harumi in the 21 was also collected up in that too. So 4 cars involved. That's some big shots right there. We'll see if we can get some more angles of this. Carry a lot of speed there through the carousel. So not a whole lot of reaction time. That's why the hits were so big too, I do believe. And the 2 drivers that, for the most part, were the instigators of it, got away scot-free. The 39 and the 01. Here it is again. Roof flaps deploy, keeping the 47 from going airborne, but the shot right there lifts the 47 onto 2 wheels. Fortunately, that was to the passenger side. And then watch the shot that Colon takes here. He's trying to get the car turned back around, and here comes Mills. Oh, just nowhere for Bruno Harumi to be able to go either in the 21. Well, just to show you just how much speed and how little reaction time there really is, let's go on board with the 21 car out of the carousel. See the smoke. You know it's late in the race. And you want to pick up as many spots as you can before the conclusion, and unfortunately sometimes it doesn't work out. That's what we're going to see here with the onboard on the Milka Ford Mustang. heard her bail out of the throttle there when she saw the smoke. And I think that she and Jose Mills figured that the incident was already over and they could basically just continue on through, and unfortunately for both of them, that was not the case. I did hear a lifting of the throttle there like they were slowing for the wreck, but apparently they didn't slow enough. That's going to put 2 more drivers back in the garage area as well. At least 2 more drivers back in the garage area, Jose Mills and Stephen Colon. Looks like they will be finishing with Mills in 23rd and Colon in 22nd. And Bruna Harumi's car is just now being pushed back behind the wall. Since she was multiple laps down, she'll be finishing in 24th place. So if my count's correct, we will have 21 drivers still running, 19 of them on the lead lap. We should get the lights out here on the pace car and be going back green. I'll say this again, potentially for our final restart of the day, 4 laps remaining. Andrea Serra continuing to show the way. She has led the most laps here today. So far, Andrea Serra has led 8 laps. 3 laps led for both Trent Dunham and Chris Washer. 2 laps led apiece for Anthony McCurry, Daniel Bouchard, and Ryan Brommer. And then taking a turn out in front for 1 lap were Zachary Fitzwater, Diego Yepes, Charles Belding, Bradley Ream, Stephen Colon, who's now back in the garage area, and Bruna Harumi, who also is back behind the wall now. Working our 7th caution of the day. Of our 32 laps, or 31 completed laps, we have run 14 of them under the green, so we've kind of almost been 50-50 in green to caution laps. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get these final 4 laps completed under the green flag. Andrea Serra will be the leader. Zachary Fitzwater 2nd, Diego Yepes 3rd, Danny Wells 4th, Charles Belding completes top 5, Anthony McCurry in 6th, Danny Bouchard in 7th, William Brock is now 8th, Ali Rain in 9th, and Vince Almriego completes the top 10. Ali Rain now resides over on the west side of the country, but formerly from New York, so I believe this would be considered in some respects a home track win for her. And she's been doing a good job here tonight, very quietly working her way into the top 10, restarting in 9th place. Anybody that's on the lead lap still has a shot to win this thing. Is Andrea Serra going to bring us down here into the restart zone? 4 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Can we finish this thing under green? I believe the next flag would end the race at this point in time. I don't know if we would get back green. Maybe for a 1-lap shootout if a caution comes out in this lap, but I've seen where in the closing stage of a Watkins Glen race, when it looks like we could have a 1-lap shootout, they do have the extra lap of pacing. So we may be going green for the final time today. And I think these drivers may realize that as well, because I think we're about to see things get ultra aggressive at the front of the field, realizing this may be the run to the checkered flag. Speaking of run, though, that's what Andrea Serra is doing, running away. 2 Carlings, 3 Carlings, back to Zachary Fitzwater. Diego Yepes tried to make a move for 2nd, but he paid the price. The 12 and the 15 kind of drafted with each other. They tandemed with each other down the straight to the inner loop. They'll hang on to 2nd and 3rd. A lot of contact there between Belding and Yepes for 4th. Now Yepes back for 3rd on Danny Wells. Anthony McCurry trying to make a move on Daniel Bouchard. That's for 6th. And Fitzwater's got Andrea Serra all to himself, at least for the moment. Oh, 39, is he coming to pit road? He is coming to pit road. Daniel Bouchard. And is that Ali Rain? No, that's Trent Dunham. Bouchard and Dunham are on pit road. Apparently they can't make it on fuel. I'm wondering if they didn't get those things completely full. I remember Trent, when he was on pit road, he left earlier than a lot of the others. I don't think they got that car completely packed full of fuel, and it might have been the same case for the 39 of Bouchard. That's a tough break for both of them. As NNSCRA continues to show the way here, Ryan Butcher, Diego Yepes, wrong driver of the 78 this week, trying to reel her in. Fitzwater in the third spot. Diego Yepes looking for his second win on the season, winning the endurance race, if you will, the Coke 600 at Charlotte earlier on this year. Danny Wells into fourth, Belding right there in fifth. Even with that left side damage, that 19 car is still strong. And William Brock's now up the highest he's been all day. He's up to the 6th position in that Cinevis Banking Chevrolet Camaro. Is NNSCRA pitting? 99's pitting. 65 is pitting as well. Drivers cannot make it. I saw some others that looked like they were indicating they were coming to pit road even further back. So it is coming down to fuel here. 2 to go at Watkins Glen. Diego Yepes now with the race lead. Danny Wells looking for second on Zachary Fitzwater. He's going to clear before they even get to the S's, it looks like. Who's got the fuel to make it? We talked about Ford. 4 straight victories here at Watkins Glen. Their highest running driver is right now in the 7th position. That's Nathan Ormond in the 17. It's Toyotas and Chevrolets up here in the first 6 spots. More so Chevrolets. The only Toyota is leading this race in Yepes. Danny Wells did not have a very good inner loop there. That's going to lose him ground to Yepes and throw him back into the clutches of Zachary Fitzwater here down the stretch out of the carousel. Does anybody indicate they're coming to pit road this time? Wide entry there into turn 10 for Yepes. Is he coming to pit lane? No, he is not. He'll swing it wide here for a good entry into turn 11. And he's going to come around and see the white flag. Got a little wide there off the final turn. Danny Wells trying to get a run on him and coming down to turn 1, but now he's got Fitzwater to driver's right. White flag in the air here at the Glen. Yepes trying to play defense. He leaves him stacked up for second. Someone's going to make a move. They're probably going to have to do it here in the bus stop. Fitzwater, is he clear? He is for second place. 2 car lengths back from Diego Yepes. Danny Wells now going to look to the inside. Well, more the outside here, heading towards the bus stop of Zachary Fitzwater. Couldn't complete the pass here. Had to tuck back in line. Fitzwater had a nice corner there through the bus stop. Can he close up on Diego Yepes? If I recall correctly, Diego Yepes has a victory at a road course all the way back in season 1 or 2 at Lime Rock. So he knows how to get it done at the rights and lefts. Couple corners left to go for the 78 car. Looking for their 3rd win on the season. Second for Yepes' career here this season. Swings it wide there off of turn 11. Fitzwater will look to take advantage, but I don't think he's close enough. Diego Yepes is going to win today at Watkins Glen. The 78 team came into this race in the number 1 seed in the playoffs. They were leading the overall point standings. And with Diego Yepes taking the checkered flag here today, I mean, they were already locked into the playoffs. So that's another extra 5 bonus points the team will carry into the playoffs. And they're saying, you want those 15 regular season bonus points? You're going to have to take them from us. What a drive today for Diego Yepes. 2nd win of the season for him. 3rd win of the season overall for the 78 team. And if I remember correctly, that's the 4th win of his Duracell Cup Series career. What a drive. Yepes led 4 laps today. The final 4 laps. He kept Danny Wells and Zachary Fitzwater at bay. And that team's got a lot of momentum. That 78 team's got a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. 5 wins overall for the organization of Auto Junction Racing. 2 now with Yepes, 1 with Butcher, and 2 with Roberto Crown Jr. Toyotas were vastly outnumbered coming into this season. But boy, they have made statements this year. Let's see if we can take a look at our finishing results here. They are now official. You had to wait for some of the stragglers to make their way around the start-finish line to officially have our results. Yepes with the win. Fitzwater brings it home in second. Danny Wells third. William Brock, great run there in fourth. And Anthony McCurry is going to complete the top five. So that 55 team's still there in that conversation for if they can get a win in these final three races of maybe getting a playoff position. Charles Belding brings it home in sixth. Nathan Orman, good run there in seventh, but he was the highest finishing Ford. So Ford's stranglehold on Watkins Glen comes to an end today. Ryan Brommer was eighth, Vince Almriego ninth, and JT Bryant completed the top 10. Chris Dollerton was 11th, Bradley Ream in 12th, pole sitter Matt McIntyre 13th, Zach Rogers 14th, Chris Washer in 15th, and then the drivers that could not make it on fuel will finish from 16th down through 20th. Ali Rain, Daniel Bouchard, Andrea Serra, and Trent Dunham all had to make last-minute trips to pit road to top off the fuel tank, could not make it to the conclusion on what they had in their gasoline tanks. One lap down, and 20th was William Micros. Also a lap down, 21st was Sean Arndt. They were the last drivers to finish. That's out of the race were the cars of Stephen Colon, Jose Mills, Bruno Harumi, RJ Bishop, Tristan Allen, Stephen Pollard III, Dave Campos, and Jessica Shelton. So one thing that we know is that with the 78 car going to victory lane once again, that was a team that was already locked into the playoffs with having 2 wins on the season. So not much is going to really change in terms of drivers having to worry about a team maybe outside of the playoff grid getting a second victory, or a team that's up there inside the top 10 or just outside the top 10 getting their first victory of the season. The thing that is going to be interesting, though, is kind of following up the storyline of the 0-9 DNFing from this race. And, you had the 6 team, the 32 team, the 27 team. They were all within striking distance. If my calculations are correct, I believe the 32 team with Dollarton's 11th place run here today, they may now move back up into the playoff position and knock the 0-9 out of a playoff position. That may be the only thing that changes from the start of today's race to the conclusion of today's race. But we'll have to wait and see for official wording, and we'll be finding all that out next week when we head to the Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway. That should be a good one, and hope you guys will join us for that. Congratulations to Diego Yepes. 3rd win of the season for the 78 team. 2nd win of the season for Diego Yepes, coming off the heels of that crown jewel victory in the Coca-Cola 600. This team has definitely got a lot of momentum as they will continue to lead the point standings heading into next week here with only 3 races left on the regular season. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race here from the Glen. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and be part of the crew today. We've shown you full finish results. Your point standings will be shown in the pre-race show next week at Pocono. And until then, I'm Seth Cole. See you guys next week as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.